Hello, I'm Rico Cavella, and welcome to this episode of American Wellness Revolution. It's all about how to transform America's health crisis. So, thank you all for being here and supporting this critical cause. And so, my co host and I, John, I'll bring him on just a second here. We've teamed up to address this critically important topic and get the message out that even though we have this health crisis, people are dying way too young and becoming old and sick. But there are definitely solutions, and we can solve this crisis. So that's what we're here for. That's what we're all about. And also, we have another health crisis. It's our health insurance crisis, which is so expensive that so many people can't afford it, and so many people don't even have health insurance. So we've got solutions for that too. John's going to talk to you about that at the end of the show. And so now I'm going to bring on our co-host John Jew. Hey, John.
Hey, Rico. Good to see you. And hello, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for being here. So John's going to tell you a little bit about us, and again why we're doing this, and how you can do it as well.
Yep. Be very happy to do that. We are right now in probably the biggest health challenge facing our communities today. And of course, yeah, it's our individual health conditions, but it's really goes bigger than that. In our community today, our government is shut down because we can't figure out how to take care of each other. And that's our problem. The rising costs of healthcare and access to quality services continue to be significant barriers, leading to worsening health outcomes, especially for vulnerable populations.
Yeah, no question about it. Well, John, tell us a little bit about who you are and why you're doing this, and your just real briefly your philosophy of of why it's so important to stay healthy and enjoy your life and have fun while we're doing it.
Yeah. Really, Rico, it really gets down to each one of us individually is self-care and self-love is the most important thing that we can do. And just by looking deep inside of yourself, that's where you'll find the answers. And we find the answers with just by observation and getting to know your body, your mind, your soul, where you are when you look deep inside. I think that is the absolute key. What we've been doing is looking outside for answers when that we really have them inside of us. And I'll give you a great example. Our healthcare system, our traditional healthcare system is putting band-aids on all the root causes of our health. If we're not healthy, what's going to happen is they'll give you medications, they'll give you things that surgeries, they'll do things for you that they think is in your best interest when it really is really about their business model, their profit model versus people helping other people, and that's helping yourself first.
Yeah. And so again, the message that we want to let people know, John, is that it doesn't have to be that way, and you don't have to buy into that. Again, if you buy into that, that's just the way it is. We're all probably going to get old and sick, and maybe end up in a nursing home, and we need to take all these medications and all these things, and die in our 70s like most people is. Well, you don't have to buy into that because we know. I mean, we're doing it, and our clients are doing it, and many people are. Science now says our genetic potential is to stay healthy to 125. So we could be living much healthier, energetic, happy lives, and we know you want to do that. So that's what we're all about, and we're trying to live by examples, and we're trying to be as healthy as we can and have as much fun and make a bigger difference in the world as well. So we want to help you do that as well. So
Rick,
talking a little bit of yeah.
yeah, I wanted to ask you a question. I wanted to ask you, where our society is today, and you've got, you're good with really good with stats and numbers, and for I think that our population right now today, our society for the most part, and you've got that percentage, is we're really very much unaware of where we are as people as today because what we do is we've got such a high rate of sick and tired people as we age, it manifests even more. What percentage is that, Rico? That basically most of us are running around just by observation, clueless.
Yeah, well, that's a sad thing, especially for our elders. Uh, there's a lot of different stats, but over 50 to 70% of Americans over the retirement age of 65 uh, just don't. They're not really having a really good time because it's really about health span as opposed to lifespan. We never know how long we're going to live, but we want to have a good health span. That means we're staying healthy and we're happy and we're having a good time and we're making a difference for as long as we're alive. But there's another statistic that says that for the majority of Americans, our health span is actually 13 years less than our lifespan. So that
Mm.
means if you only live to be 80, but already way back in your mid 60s, you're already having all these health problems, and you're not really enjoying your life, and you're not you're not really having an impactful life. So that's really a sad situation. So we need to turn that around, and that's what we're here to show you that you can do it. It's not that difficult at all.
Yeah, and it really is an awareness thing. Is here's a stat that you and I have talked about is when we're in our 60s, we're probably going to be on about three medications, and this is what we've done. We've normalized that condition, and when we get into our 70s, the numbers are the average 70-plus-year-old will be on anywhere from 3 to 8 medications. And then when you get into your 80s, it turns into even more because they treat the side effects with more medications, and it just keeps snowballing. And that to me is something that our population just says this is the way it is. And the more medications you take, the sicker you are. It's just plain and simple as that. And people don't really understand that concept.
Yeah. Well, John, just talk real briefly, and then we'll get into our topic for today is about the power of healthy snacking and all about snacking because that is actually a big issue, particularly for people who have a challenge with being over fat, which so many people do in America. So just talk a little bit about how you're living your life, how you've gotten healthier as you age and how you're having more fun, and just give me an example of what's possible.
Sure. Yeah, I probably just like everybody else, we love snacking. I think 90% of our population snacks. And what I used to do is my specialty was potato chips. Ooh, did I love potato chips. In fact, I remember even when I was in junior high, I would have for lunch, I would just eat one bag of barbecue potato chips. And I loved it so much that I just ate 3 bags. That was my diet at lunchtime. It was 3 bags of barbecue potato chips. Boy, they were really good. And so I learned as I kept going on that, hey, I didn't feel that good after I ate it. So,
Yeah.
after a while, I would get kind of, oh, I feel sick. Must have been what I ate. I mean, that was a common thing for me to say is, I don't feel that good. It must have been something I ate. Well, it dawned on me that why do I keep eating that way why do I want to keep feeling sick? So I started transforming my thinking, changing my thinking to say, okay, what if I ate something nutritious? What if I ate something, will that make me feel better? And that concept has worked all the way through to where I am today. At 76 years old, I snack like crazy. I love organic popcorn. And you know your ingredients. I love to eat other snacks that I read the ingredients and to know that they're good for me. It's a learning process, but for each one of us who snacks, 9 out of 10 people, if they can start flipping the switch and start eating healthy snacking, then they'll start feeling better rather than worse.
Okay. Well, I want to begin on this topic of snacking. First of all, snacking it can be good, and we're going to talk about some of the benefits of snacking and why it matters and what are some of the most healthiest snacks. And then we're also going to talk about some of the common, really unhealthy snacks and how they're really depleting your health and your energy as well. But I want to say, you know, snacking is not necessarily a good thing because our body, if we're always eating, if we're eating a meal and then just a little bit later you're having a snack, then you're constantly keeping your body and have to digest and absorb food, and it never gets the rest, to regenerate itself. So if you're always eating and having to digest food, it doesn't give your body a chance to actually absorb the nutrients and give you the benefits that you're looking for. So first of all, a lot of times if you think you need a snack, quite often when we think you're hungry, you're just thirsty. So try drinking some water before you even take a snack. And the reason this is important too, mostly, is because we're such a nation of over fat people. And snacks is one of the biggest issues, right, John? We have all these vending machines. We have all these junk food snacks. We'll talk about what they are just in a minute. But just like you say, all these potato chips and all these things with salt and sugar and fried fats. All these junk food because they make a lot of money off these snacks. So if you're always eating these unhealthy, high calorie, uh, low energy, full of salt and sugar snacks, it's contributing to your obesity because you're eating all these calories that you don't need. And when you eat food that's really low, high in calories, but low in nutrition, your body just stores it as fat because it can't really utilize it for nutrition, so it stores it as fat. So first of all, think about if do you really need to snack or not. Now, some people have what's called hyperglycemia, where you tend to get low blood sugar, which that's that's kind of my metabolism sometimes. Sometimes I need to eat something that's going to give me some more energy in between meals. And the other thing I want to say, John, is that uh, we heard a lot about intermittent fasting, and so we know all the benefits of going long periods of time without getting any food at all in your body, and so that's really helpful for not only burning excess body fat and losing that excess body fat, but it helps your body to heal and regenerate itself, as I said, because it's not always having to deal with digestion. So if that's a problem for you and you want to do intermittent fasting, you got to forget about the snacks. Snacks are not something that you need to do. But with that said, though, John, I mean there are some benefits. Again, it can give you some sustained energy. It can help you to focus a little bit better. It can give you a little bit of a nutrient boost. But but really, I mean, like I say, uh, I I think snacking is something you need to take a look at and maybe not do so much of.
Yeah, Rico, I'm going to interject right there about who you are. And what you're saying is that snacking isn't necessarily, something that we need to do. It's a habit.
Yeah,
Basically, it's a habit that we have,
yeah,
you know, we're creatures of habit. And what you said is, instead of snacking, why don't you just hydrate yourself, which is a great way to go. It's a choice that you have that sends you in a better direction. And then I'm going to take that to the next step is why not just exercise? Why not just, you might not feel like it, but pretty soon that'll feel like a habit,
yeah.
and it's a good habit, and that's what you're about. You've been a fitness trainer for 45 years. You got some things right, and big time right. And being who you are today, it's so great to see that somebody like yourself says, hey, we don't need to snack. It's just a habit, basically, is what it is. And if you can substitute a habit with a good habit, hydration, exercise, whatever it takes, or even replacing it with a healthy, nutritious snack. If you can do that, if you got to keep snacking, sure, fine, do whatever works for you. But you'll find out that if you eat, you know, poor nutrition, junk foods type snacks, that it will manifest. It will catch up to you, and you better figure out another way, unless you want to be
Yeah.
sick, tired, full of chronic disease, medications, and a lifestyle that just doesn't really sit well with most people. But
And dealing with a lot of excess body fat. Yeah, well, because I am a fitness trainer and nutritionist and a wellness coach. I don't want to come be too negative and say, oh, you shouldn't snack and all that. But on the other hand, John too. See, John's a good example. John realized that he was eating bad snacks and it wasn't serving him well, and you were able to overcome that. So you're a good example of what's really possible.
yes,
Uh,
thank you.
okay, so okay, so I want to we'll just mention some of the worst snacks, and you can jump in if you want to say anything there, and then we'll get into the good part. We'll give you some good healthy snacks that are will actually give you some benefit. So you still can snack. We're not saying you can't ever snack. Okay, but here's some of the worst one. Obviously, potato chips and corn chips. Those are fried fats, and they have a lot of salt and sugar and all those things. They're high in sodium, and they have a lot of empty calories. Of course, just candies, any kind of candy and sweets have way too much sugar and calories, and you don't need any of that stuff. Cookies and pastries, that's a tough one because I like cookies and pastries, but just at a minimum. Candy bars, And actually, here's the very worst one of all. I can't believe people are still drinking sodas and all these sodas. So it's the worst thing you can. You know what Coke is? You know, like Coca-Cola, it's all it is sugar and acid and chemicals. It's all the worst things you can probably put in your body. Causes so much a problem with you, interrupts your digestion. Just empty calories of salt, and then a lot of these drinks, all these uh, uh, I can't think what do they call low calorie drinks?
Yeah,
What do they call?
0 calorie Coke or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, they sweeten them with these artificial sweeteners, which are known to be carcinogenic. So those are some of the worst things you want to put in your body. And
Yeah.
and anything that's highly processed, it's got a bunch. If you read the label, it's got all these chemicals and the big words that you don't know what they are. That's the things that you don't want to put in your body.
And what you're saying, Rico, is I think most people, I would think, and I don't like to assume anything, but I think most people understand that what they're putting into their bodies is probably not the best thing for them, but they supposedly cannot help themselves. And I think what you need to do, what you can do, and this is just suggestions about how to get healthier, is to understand and read your labels. And those labels
Yeah,
sometimes, they could be a little bit off, but to get an idea of what you are actually putting into your body is an awareness thing. And if you can put things into your body that, what we're doing is putting things into our body that we don't know anything about once we do read the label, that you can't even pronounce it. And
right.
just keep it simple, just keep it really to the point where it can actually do you some good about a simple ingredient. And I'll give you, our
Well,
popcorn, for instance. Organic popcorn is a whole food, and we use, just simple ingredients. And to know that what those simple ingredients will do is will actually give you the fiber, the nutrition, polyphenols, antioxidants, whatever it is that really supplement and help your cells get stronger.
yeah, John's healthy popcorn's called Truth. What is it? Truth Kernel?
Truthful kernel.
Truthful Kernel.
Truthful
Yeah,
kernel. Every
yeah,
kernel is got truth in it.
yeah. Healthy popcorn is a good snack, and we're going to go over a few of the other ones. Well, here's the thing, too, John. Uh, most healthy snacks, they don't have a label. You don't need to read the label. You're not getting anything like fresh fruits, organic fruits, and are one of the very best things for snacks. Raw nuts and seeds, they don't come with a label. You don't have to read them. Raw vegetables and hard boiled eggs and maybe some whole grain crackers. Those are some of the things that can be, and most of those don't come with any label. Maybe a little bit of dark chocolate. Again, maybe some healthy smoothies and green drinks. And most all these things, they don't have a label. It's just real organic food that's grown by Mother Nature. Those really are the very best snacks.
Yeah, that's a good one, Rico. And one other thing that I wanted to mention too is that here's, we base our health on concepts, and the concept of healthy eating is simple. That concept of healthy eating is as simple as that we can actually eat tasty and delicious food, tasty and delicious food that is also healthy and nutritious. Most people, a lot of people, I came from this thinking too, as I tried many times to say, I got to get off of this crap that I'm eating. It gives me instant gratification because it tastes so good, because it's a habit. And what it is I thought anything that was healthy and nutritious, that was my thinking, is that, oh, it must taste like cardboard, or it's so bland, or there's no flavor to this stuff. That is totally wrong. Once you get, flip the switch and think differently.
Absolutely. Okay, we've only got a few minutes left here. So, John, just take about a minute and tell people just real briefly about impact health sharing and how it can save people a lot of money. It's a new way to get a type of health insurance that's really good for helps you to improve your overall health as well as save money.
Yeah, thank you, Rico. Rico, there's another thinking out there that our traditional healthcare system is the only way that we know to take care of ourselves. And what it is really very fundamental. It's called profit, 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 profit. That's the business model of our healthcare system. If we ever had a cure for cancer, bingo, they'd be out of business. And that's so there's some things that are not in the best interests of the patients or the people that they're taking care of. Because number one, the way our system works is they have to take care of profit first,
Yeah.
or else they don't
Well,
exist.
John, we don't have much time, so just talk just real briefly about what impact health sharing is.
Impact Health Sharing is a nonprofit that gives you all the providers that our traditional healthcare system has, and it's about half the cost, and it's available to anybody who believes that community is how we take care of each other. And it's all that profit that our other system goes into, it goes into back into this health sharing, where we all help each other share in the taking care of each other.
Yeah, it's a new way. So you definitely want to check that out. We'll put the links in the show description where you can go and find out more about it, learn about impact health sharing. And I want to just also end with, that we're here to help you. We know it could be really confusing and what you need to do really to get healthier again. So we're here to help you with that. So first, I recommend you go to our main website. We'll put that information in the chat as well. I mean, not in the chat, in the description, and take our aging assessment and see how well you're doing. And then you can also book a free call with me, and we'll just have a friendly conversation and talk about what your health or fitness or nutrition challenges are, eating challenges, and I'll give you some quick and easy solutions and get you going on the right track. And we also have coaching programs. We're here to help you. So if you're interested in getting some coaching, so you know you're going to be successful, uh, we'll let you know about that too, and you can find those on our website as well. So we're here to help you in every way that we possibly can. So thanks all, thanks to everybody for being here. Thanks, John, for all that great information, and so we're just about out of time. So I like to always end our shows, John, with Einstein saying, "Knowledge without action is useless." So you got to take action on the information that we're giving you. That's why we're here. We're here to help you, and so you got to step up and take responsibility for your health. Right,
Yeah,
John?
absolutely, Rico. Thank you, everybody, for being here. And we're here to help you and support you in the best way we possibly can, and that is with your health.
Thank you.